Hey guys, Jonah here. End of a weekend. I'm here doing another beer review, of course. Gonna do another single hop beer, and things are getting just absolutely bizarre. But I will come on to that in a second. We are going here, Malta, to this place, Lord Chambray. Come on, Chambray. Whatever the fuck that is. And that's because look, there it is. It says on the back. We speak beer, Lord Chambray. Chambon, do you speak Chambon? Well, you don't speak to me then. So this is Tettnanger Baltic Porter, and it's called Groyne. Those things in the sea, is that Groyne? It's not that kind of groin. It's a different one. My God, this is just bizarre, bizarre. Right, so what have we got? We got barley, hops, yeast. Okay, so we are following the Reinheitsgebot, which is cool. 5% on the ABV. Oh, thought so. Brewed for beer 52 at St Ives Brewery in Truro, not in Malta at all. Which is a real shame. It'd be nice to have a Baltic Tettnanger beer. Tettnanger is another noble hop that's usually used in lagers. So why they're putting it into a Baltic porter, no idea. And a Baltic porter at 5%? That's not really a Baltic porter. Baltic porter should be at least 6, maybe 6.5. It's a strong beer. This one isn't. Maybe it's a session Baltic porter. Yeah. And with Tettnanger in, I mean, ugh, just absolutely bizarre. Bizarre. How bizarre. Anyway, let us drink this bad boy. Gonna do a pressure test because this, like all the dark beers I have not been in the fridge. So some of you might be pleased, but it's a very hot summer's day, or at least it was down here. I don't know what it's like where you are, dear viewers. All right, so let's have a look. Oh, interesting. It is not a Baltic porter colour either. But porters don't have to be black, to be honest. They don't have to be strong, really. I mean, they are. Modern ones are. And they're originally stout porter. So it looks a lot darker to you, I imagine, but it is definitely a ruby kind of coloured beer. Getting a shine off the light. Oh my God, look at that head. 3 fingers heads on this bad boy. Will that do anything to it? Not really. I want that weird trifecta sign on there, but I'm definitely going to stare at that head. Because there it is, the groin trifecta of Duma. And that, dear viewer, as you well know, because you clicked on the thumbnail, of course. Does it say much on there, apart from it not being from Malta? It's from St Ives. 5%, yeah, not too shabby, I suppose. And yeah, that beer, it's dark, but it's sort of, I would say that's kind of conker type thing. Okay, so I've got a listing from the Beer 52 site, so not sure what this says, but it says Crystal 150. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Low color chocolate malt? The hell does that mean? Pale malt, yeah, fine. Wheat malt, okay. So it has got a bit of wheat in there, and black malt. And the 150 is basically, the higher that number is, the darker it is. So it's a crystal, really dark bad boy. For most IPAs, they're looking Crystal 60, sort of maximum. I mean, some go Crystal 90. I have heard of 120, but 150, that's nuts. Right, we have some Beer 52 blurb. Gentle roast and treacle up front, followed by a balancing bitterness. Classic German hop, Tettnanger, brings an earthy balance to this Baltic style porter. So all of a sudden, it's Baltic style porter, whereas it says on here Baltic porter. So Tettnanger Baltic porter becomes Baltic style porter. Just why can't things be simple, dear viewer? I don't know. And drinking this beer should be worth a like or a click on the thumbs up at the very least. Why don't you think about subscribing if you haven't done so already, and join me down below in the comments. So there is a bit of sweetness. There's a toffiness. I know what they say when they're saying treacle. It's dark. It's sweet, but there is some hoppiness there too. Hoppiness sort of in a, yeah, I guess in a lager way, which for Tettnang would be absolutely fine. Sometimes people call it Tettnang Tiger. Just ludicrous. I'm loving that head though. That fluffy. I would say that's just off white. It's not quite maybe a cream. How about that? Looks very, very nice. Cheers and beers. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. 'Tis the end of my holiday. I was on holiday this week and spent a load of money. Don't know what on. That's what happens. And oh, you probably haven't seen my badge. I was at a castle today and they gave me a badge for going along. So go to a castle, get a badge. Cheers and beers. Let's see what we get. Oh. Quite dark. Treacly, yes. There is residual sweetness, but it does have a bit of a kind of, it's weird. Although it's sweet, it's got quite a dry bitterness, which means that it's kind of sweet up front, then it kind of goes a bit watery in your mouth. So it's sort of, the sweetness goes away for a little bit. The bitterness washes your mouth clean to some degree, but the sweetness then comes back. I would say that the kind of earthy feel comes more from the malts than from the hops. Pardon me. I have had Tettnang a few times, but usually in lagers and very pale beers, never in a dark beer before. I guess, I mean, for me, this is not a Baltic porter. It's not astringent enough. There's not enough dark patent malt or dark chocolate malt to give that astringent kind of chocolate bitterness, coffee bitterness. This is sweet brown ale, I guess. Because of the types of malts, it's probably not the best style to use for a single hopped beer, which is very strange. A few of the beers in this case have tried to do this. The black IPA, okay, that kind of worked. But some of the other beers, why do such a dark beer and with a single hop beer? Because you're not tasting really the hops. Doesn't really work in my opinion. Let's go for some more. See if I can rip it apart some more. Yeah, there is some darkness up front, but all a bit meh. So it's not quite, yeah, it's not bitter enough. It's not astringent enough for me to call this a Baltic porter. it doesn't taste of brine. It doesn't taste of the sea, which I tend to get from Baltic porters. It's not. It's not. It's not sailor enough. Not pirate enough. Yeah, not really good enough in my opinion. Very strange beer this. It's not bad beer, but it's just not that good either. I quite like brown ales, American brown and kind of sweet milk browns and stuff. This, it's not quite that. They tried to make it a bit darker. They tried to make it dark and interesting, perhaps. But for me, nah, it kind of failed. Let's have a look at Headwatch. Some sort of weird thing flying in the sky and some lines sticking up. There's not that much going on. There is a line there. Can you see there? But yeah, even it's just dots. There's no lacing as such. It's just little spots of suds. It is what it is. Let's finish this off, and you guys can get on your way. Maybe there's a little bit of kind of vinous or vinous kind of taste, like wine, like a kind of red winey type thing there. God only knows what this weird thing, like a sort of trifecta triangle weird juggling thing. No clue what that is about. Groyne, that's a groin, is it? I guess. Just why? And that is Lord Chambray. Well, I'm not going to lord you up, mate. Not very good, in my opinion. My apologies. I don't always get good beers, and that one, not an off beer, not a bad beer, just nah, in the middle, just not that. Trying to be interesting, but not actually that interesting at all. This is your loving Uncle John. I will be having more good beers, I'm sure I will. That one, not so much. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and remember, Uncle John will be back. I'll be back with more beer reviews real soon.